Thank you, Exchange for Media, for inviting us, and I'm feeling very privileged to share this forum with all of you. The topic itself is of interest not only to us, it's for the entire globe, and we all were chatting up backstage, and we ended up really forecasting things which are way ahead in future, but let's start with the present. Should we? So today is not really about whether AI works. It's largely to do with where it works, how it scales, and how leaders who are on stage are really looking at things when AI will start making decisions, and how are they sharing their perspective on that with some use cases and case studies today, right? So I would just open this for perhaps Santosh. In your experience so far, any project which you've done, right, as a use case where you guys were very proactive, jumped into it, but then you later realized that it was very primitive to do it, and if there are any great learnings from it?
Thank you. I would say it's not one or two projects. There are multiple projects where we try to experiment, learn, fail, and then, of course, we got a very deep learning about it, what really works for that is there. So, almost like 2.5 years back, we established our AI lab, and everybody was experimenting, and so we are, and curious, more out of curiosity rather than the solutions is there. So, the typical use cases where we divided is, one is the generative AI, where we create a content or automation of the content, build a scale, create volume, and those things is there. The second is, of course, is the personalization, where we bring a better resonance and relevance to the audience through our media, audience signal points. And the third use case was more on a predictive and the diagnostic part is there, where as a communication agency, we need to really know that what will really resonate with the customers, how the emotions will resonate and all. And AI has actually really helped us in identifying even the success of the communication before even getting into the production part of things. And that has been a very significant use case. And typically also on the predictive side, a lot of use cases we did on the market research part, where we do primary quant kind of a research. There we could see that there is a significant efficiency, and as well as very interesting data points comes because of the metadata learning. So rather than an intent coming out of a research, it actual behavior comes out in the research at the play. And that's what the kind of things which we learned during those experiments, which is now, I would say, is a part of our life.
Okay, all right. So clearly this shows how experimentation is very different from real experience. You would like to add something, Chandan, to this?
Hello. Yeah, so in our organization, so I would like to add something. So what we saw that the bottoms-up approach and the top-down approach. So when we started using AI in our organizations, we started using it at the task level, at the individual levels. So that was the bottoms-up approach, and that we saw that it is a fragmented approach. It was not correct approach that we thought we should have done, but instead of that, it should have been a top-down approach where, you know, we should know at the department level or at the organization level, the entire AI system has to be worked at the value chain level. So that's what the learning and unlearning that we had in our organization.
Okay, just to follow up, and anybody can take this. I mean, in your experience, what both Santosh and Chandan mentioned is the gap in leadership or technology. Is the gap in leadership or technology when it comes to some cases, pilots which don't take off? You want to take this?
It's the gap in the leadership understanding the technology. That's the gap. I mean, as we were discussing it internally, like when we were sitting inside and we all spoke about this very specifically, it's a rapidly changing, as we are talking, probably somebody's developing something crazy somewhere in this, on planet. And it's changing on an every microsecond basis. You have to keep yourself updated. As one of us mentioned, that one of the biggest challenges we face is that we are slow. The corporate is a slow side. To take a decision, to get a bill passed, it takes around 15 days, 20 days. To get vendor payments, because I'm one of those, it takes a couple of months to clear it. So decisions are very slow, and how things are changing, what the leadership does not realize at a stage is that it's not just for the sake of implementation. As Kedar's, I think, insight said, that we are now living where we have to accept it and implement it immediately.
So the speed of change, and that is where the leadership is actually getting challenged, and the focus is required there, where AI is anyway taking care of execution as much as it can. My question to you again is that with AI now able to create content and even virtual creators, right? What will still make human creators relevant and trusted in future?
I don't know. All of you are on Instagram? You watch reels? There was a song trending a few days back, Just a Boy, from a Japanese artist. Just a boy, and then there's a Japanese lyrics where people on Meta app were creating images of God. Yeah. And that song was trending. And a few days later, a very good-looking girl profile came up, and she said, I'm going to sing this song. And she started to sing it pretending she was reading it. When you would go to the comment section, almost 90% of the viewers believed that she was real. There were comments like, this reel is going to trend, why aren't you viral, why aren't you an actress? Precisely because she was not real, she was not an actress. A day later, people started to realize that she was AI. The content was so good, the girl was so good looking, that almost all men on Instagram must have fallen for it. Couple of days later, there's a comedy influencer based out of Bombay called Danny Pandit. He mocked it. He made a mockumentary on it. And that got more views than the girl views of singing about it. So people love that content because it was created by a human trying to understand what humans like, picked up certain things from Mumbai language and included in that slang. There's always going to be a human touch when it comes to content creation. Things which we relate to, we immediately pick it up. I think somewhere AI has not reached that stage. I hope it doesn't reach, because that's where you lose, complete control over it. In fact, I passed that statement inside when I was thinking of this question. There was a time when VFX used to awe us.
Yes.
And I said, very soon we will reach a stage where, especially in content creation, AI is going to disgust us. There will be so much AI-based content everywhere that you will be confused. Everybody will be confused.
Yes, I mean in the present, yes, because a lot of AI you still feel there is something missing, right, in that content. I can't put the finger on it, but as things advance, probably that gap will also disappear. My question to you, Kedar, as AI optimizes for efficiency, right, how do you ensure it doesn't quietly erode brand trust and distinctiveness in banking?
I think, firstly, AI is not just efficiency, right? It's a lot more. One has to see the way it truly unleashes is when you start thinking of it like a system, as opposed to just a tool that you kind of try and infuse into your workflows. Now, if you were to extend that to what will help in terms of not letting this impact, especially the relationship that you have with your consumers. And in case of banking, it's really trust, which really matters. You keep your money with the bank, and then you trust the bank, and that's why you keep your money. So if any system is optimizing itself so much that it starts becoming invasive, is where you start losing trust. So it's exactly the opposite of what one would expect something like an AI-driven system to do for you. So I think that's one big watch out, or that's one good balance that one has to strike. And the other bit is that no matter what you do, we don't see communication in high involvement categories like banking, where communication is also a governance layer. And that governance layer has to be protected in the way you kind of craft everything, which is not left to just imagination. So I think somewhere the balance between letting the system kind of, breed itself, but with the contours that you define, and that's where.
As an organization, where are you in this entire journey so far?
So I think we're moving to a place where we made the common mistake of thinking AI as just bringing a tool. So we went that journey where we looked at AI as an assistant, then moved to accelerator, to now compounding systems. Where we are headed is you'll soon hear an announcement where we'll be launching our own semi-autonomous marketing function, where we've reimagined. There are broadly 5 steps in any marketing, right? Understanding your consumer, creating content basis that, deploying the media and deploying the content, and then having the right journeys to fulfilling it, and finally measuring it. What we've done is we've kind of reimagined marketing in a completely new world, and have designed a system where the job of a marketer is only to making that system better and letting it improvise itself. So we've had a couple of successful use cases, and we'll soon be moving in that direction. We're also not looking at agencies. There are bright young folks who are extremely AI native, and the way they look at it is very different. So they are building all systems where you just send an event and then they're able to convert all the content that you need. So,
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that insight. Somesh, your category where you come from is highly sensitive, right? In a trust category, which is life insurance, where should AI stay invisible or as a back function, and where must humans remain clearly visible and take the lead?
So, I am from general insurance, but I can answer for life as well.
Thank you.
Largely, my view is, most of the times claims is one area where, irrespective of AI or not AI, you are in a state where you're not in the right frame of mind. You are going through a lot of things. Either you're in a hospital or you are on the road, an accident has happened, if it is a motor insurance, or any kind of, if it's a cyber insurance, something has happened with you, some fraud has happened with you, right? So, or if it is a life insurance, something has happened to your dear one. I think the question should not be whether will human touch be required to handle such situations. Let's understand what happens. Why is a customer not happy? Because they are in a hospital and it is taking time for insurance companies to probably approve the cashless claim, or the claim and hospitalization is still there. Will AI not be able to solve for it? Obviously, AI will be able to give a better experience, and if AI is able to give them a better experience in terms of getting discharged from an hospital or taking the vehicle from the garage, why should they not be happy with it? So, the question that you asked, whether human touch will be required, irrespective whether it is insurance or any other industry, wherever AI is not able to solve for that use case, humans will be required. But if AI has been able to solve for a use case, obviously everybody will have to start using it more to make the experience better, more to get the efficiencies on board, and to be the one who are the first ones to do it. So we've been investing not now, but since 2017-18 into AI. Just to give an example as well, so that it doesn't look like that I'm just saying for the sake of saying it. Earlier, if there is a break-in in your vehicle, there used to be a surveyor who used to go to the house, do a video inspection or a survey, come back, submit a report at the office, and used to tell us whether we should insure that vehicle or not. Is there any pre-existing damage or not? Now all of this through AI can happen in seconds. Nobody needs to go, take an appointment, do anything. One video, the way video can be uploaded. Earlier people were sitting and approving that video as well. Now that also can be done. Now from a consumer perspective, it is an wow experience, and why will they not be happy? Why would they want to talk to a human? So if you're able to, but we took 4 to 5 years to ensure that the model that we are talking about now reaches to an accuracy level of 97%. That is the point that you need to keep in mind, and that is something that you need to keep investing for a long period of time as an organization, as business owners, that you cannot not invest into it and not make the model good. The second point that I always tell is that humans also make mistakes. I can give you an example. Somebody sitting in Leelavati hospital said discharge date is 20th January while it was 30th January. Now, the insurance company will obviously reject the claim because you are asking for a discharge today and you are saying discharge happened on 20th January, it could be a fraud, and we will reject it. Now, this is a human error. So, errors happen when humans are managing a process as well. We always expect that AI should deliver 100%. By the way, humans were also 85-90% accurate, 10%, 5%, 7%, depending on the businesses that you are in. There used to be an error rate as well. So I think these are the things that all of us will have to look at. AI is not something that anybody can say that they don't want to find solutions through AI. They will have to, there is no other option. But you'll have to stay invested, you'll have to completely work on the models, you'll have to train your models in a manner that you can give a better experience.
Thank you. And very interesting point that human also makes error, and we expect too much from machines and technology and AI, whereas it's the other way. They will look at things which will go past human eye. So there's a space there to debate further. I will go to Shreyas. Shreyas, you are obviously at the epicenter of where all the use cases are being done at a very rampant speed. Do you want to share any case studies?
Sure, definitely. So basically, I've been working in advertising since 15 years, and we have been hugely working with AI in advertising. And no, we do not have access to your microphones, so don't worry. Just disclaimer. There have been many use cases. Initially, when we were using AI, we were using AI into a lot of things for optimizations in terms of DCO, dynamic creative optimizations, etc. Something happened in between. Google decided to go cookieless, and then we decided to go contextual as well. So what we do exactly, we scan articles, scan keywords, scan image using AI and place right ad to right people. But a challenge came in when we wanted to expand internationally into different countries from Germany, and we wanted to train our algorithms to different cultures, because culture is something which was completely missing. We were using the same model to different cultures, and something was working, something wasn't working. So this was a learning and unlearning for us, that we need to train AI. AI is a really helpful thing. It's helpful in many ways, but we need to train it, give it a direction, and just then the magic comes on.
All right, so if we were to put AI evolution in 3 tiers, and I know that Kedar has a very deeper intellectual framework for it, but AI right now is obviously into execution, and if we were to delegate decision making, that is where it's moving to more of concern and a judgment from leadership which is required, right? That will then narrate the culture and create a culture force out there. So, and why I'm picking this up is because Chandan, you shared what you guys have created, and you've been creating for last so many years, but last, I think 3 months or 6 months is something which you have launched, this AI avatars. And yes, guys, they have something which can absolutely replace everybody sitting in this room, almost. But do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So I will share my experience, how we developed this and what was the experience. So I'll just give you some background first. So it is very surprising for everybody that, there are very young people who are learning AI, but when I was doing my master's 30 years back, that was 3 decades ago, in Cal State University, US. So my specialization was in AI. And the purpose of, why I did AI, because of the movie Terminator. And we still are not there yet, and we should not be there, but that's how I landed up there. The infrastructure was not ready during that time, and we were trying to build brains in a vacuum during that time. and we did not have LLM, we did not have infrastructure, we did not have chips, we did not have any applications also during that time. But this, the bug stayed in the mind that why it is still not picking up. Because of these many layers of infrastructure that is required to implement AI. And it took almost 30 years to get that infrastructure ready. And now is the time when it is the time of the performance, because the application layer is where the ROI is. Because only if having LLMs also does not give you any results. So we tried to launch similar product in 2018, just before COVID. Still that time LLMs were not present. LLMs came into picture in 2022. And as soon as LLM came into picture, the application layer got set in. And that's where we could build our dream product, which is AI virtual assistant. Now this AI virtual assistant we have developed completely using AI systems. So the development was also done in the AI systems. So there are 3 solutions that we are providing. One is AI virtual assistant, one is AI ads and avatar, and one is the predictive analysis solutions. So all these 3 are completely developed using AI systems. All the ads, avatars are created using AI, and the marketing collaterals, marketing go-to-market situation that we created to come to this event was done in a short span of time of 1 month, including all the 3D ads, including all the 3D presentations, collaterals, creatives, avatars, etc., everything. So you see the speed at which, initially when in 2000 it took us, 9 months to develop that product.
Sure.
And then, in 3 months we were ready for market. So
Sure.
that's how fast we can launch.
Thanks for sharing that. And Santosh, you had a counterpoint to this. While Chandan was sharing this with us, and I thought maybe be nice for the audience also to hear your POV, which is a little bit of concern, but also excitement to which, what Chandan is doing.
Sorry, come
So
again.
you had a perspective on that, how moats are created over a period of time. Do you want to bring that in front of the audience?
Okay. No, so basically, as Chandan said already, that with help of AI, now the products can be built in a much faster time. And that's a case that he has presented that just last 1 month or 3 months, the entire suite of the product has been produced. Which also takes us to a different use case, that if that faster production is there, then where is the limit? Today is 1 month, tomorrow it can be 10 days. So I was just reading on one data and that really blew my mind on this thing is there. So the best supercomputer, the kind of a quantum we are doing today, was taking 25 septillion years, is now done in 5 minutes. So that's the speed, that's a kind of a volume, that's a kind of a, I would say, the deep quantum mechanics are there. Now in this case, the most important part is there that how we really create a distinction between the human and the AI, because that is a very important part
Yes.
of layering the AI with the human distinction is there. So when Kedar was mentioning a point, and that's a point which I also very much agree is there, that the governance layer and the soul of the brand cannot be eroded with a volume or the noise. And that's where the very important balance comes is there, that the AI can bring a volume, they can bring a lot of the speed and the agility. You can create a lot of content, but what the brand voice should be is where it is the human hands are there. Because it's not a question of a what, because that AI will solve, but it's a question of why. What is the purpose? What is the meaning that brand is presenting? And end of the day, we build connections. The brand trust is all about human connections. It's about the trust that human does with that. And that comes with the meaningfulness and the part of the life that brand comes into a human consumer or any consumer. That's where I think the human distinction will remain, and it should remain. I won't say will it remain or not, but it should remain for sure is there. And that's where I see that how the evolution is there. One thing I just wanted to add from the first question that you added, from experimentation to where we are today. When we started experimenting, and I think this is the case for everyone, that started with the ChatGPT, then Gemini came, then the mid-journeys, runways, VO3. Today we have thousands of tools, and then people are figuring out which is good, which is not good. I see that AI is not just about picking a right tool or something is there. It is a marketing OS. It's an operating system in our ecosystem. It is that fundamental change is happening. And now with this OS, the human has to evolve, that how the routine work, the regular work can be automated for building efficiency, and human brings the sharpness, the meaningfulness and purpose in the life.
Beautifully put. And I think you've sort of looked at the subject of today from a very different lens. That what is really happening to the leader who's driving this agenda of AI, right? While we are talking about AI and what all things have become like pilot to scale, but the person who's calling the shots is the one who's under pressure in the boardroom, is answerable for ROI, even more so now. ROI was always the point. I have a question for you, Prateek. I'm looking at you.
So I just lifted the mic because
Yes.
I wanted to add something
Yes,
to
please add,
what
and
you're
then I have
saying
a
there.
question for you.
Yeah. So you asked us the question right at the beginning, and you said, "Where's the disconnect between the leadership and the understanding?" I will give an example of our software giants, TCS, Infosys. They're very important for our country. They employ lakhs of people. They pay a huge amount of corporate taxes, and they are in every walk of life. We might be paying our bill, and that system has been made by TCS. We do not know the origins. But they did not take this challenge very seriously. I do not know what is happening in those companies internally. I wouldn't know that. But so Sam Altman came 3 years back, and he had a conversation with most of the heads of these conglomerates, and he explained to them in the 3 to 4 years things will change. And a month back, Claude Cowork came in. Not even a month back, I think it's been only 20-25 days. 10 days back, yeah. And I'm assuming that the way things are moving with Claude Cowork, probably another company will bring in a similar SaaS disruptor. And that's what's going to happen. Things will change. Somebody said 1 month, somebody said 10 days. It might be 3 days. It might be, as a few people already in the West are predicting, that we will have 2 or 3 people running a $1 billion company. We will have 5, 25, 50 people running an agency, working with multiple brands. So the idea is that, the leadership needs to take it seriously, and there is no escape. There's absolutely no escape to this.
Sure. Since you are the helm of influencer marketing, Prateek, ROI in influencer marketing was always questionable and a challenge. Now, how AI is going to complicate it or solve it for you when you go into CMO's rooms?
Firstly, I don't agree that ROI was ever a problem. Yeah, it's actually one of those functions where humans are involved, it cannot be quantified. When creativity is involved, it cannot be quantified. You could always quantify it with the numbers, followers, engagement, etc., etc. Also, sales was the factor. I think AI is not going to make a difference. Marketers will keep questioning at every step. If we have put in X amount of money, the CFOs are definitely going to, if the marketers are not going to. They will definitely always ask this question, that if we are spending something, what is the overall cost we are saving? Implementation, whether in influencer marketing, whether in social media management, etc., of AI or anything, for example, as Somesh mentioned, there's always going to be a question, what is the return we are getting in? If it gets expensive, you're going to go back to human capital on an immediate basis. That will be like a knee-jerk reaction. However, AI is going to get cheaper. It's not even cheap, it's going to get way, way cheaper. Creating an ad level video today with AI, with a 6-seconder on YouTube, if you went to a production house, even saying something as simple as taking a health insurance for the benefit of my family, I have gone to XYZ company. It is a 6-seconder. Used to cost 1.5, 2 lakhs. Today it can cost you as less as 5,000 rupees. So it's going to get cheap.
So efficiencies in execution and cost efficiencies hence. But the question still pivots more towards then leadership driving the direction and giving it meaning and building that trust with right governance, right? Anything you would like to add, Shreyas, because I know you're looking at me and I can sense there is something which you want to share.
Yeah, one thing I want to share about AI is, of course, AI is really fast and it's developing really rapidly. Means I see this because I'm from the 90s and I see this generation gap when it comes to like computers coming into the picture and people were still afraid that will my job will be safe? Of course not. But it's modified. So we have new jobs when computers are there and same it will be AI. It's just a matter of speed. The speed AI is adapting to, it's really fast. But what AI misses out, it's the human thing, it's the gut feeling. And especially that's why leadership positions and some other positions won't be replaceable because AI completely misses on that part. It's very logical. And I still feel that there is a huge scope to surround AI when it comes to replacing human beings.
You all are like leading your organizations. I just want to quickly wear a different hat and ask you, how much of your cognitive overload is happening with the decision making which you have to do? We're saying, yeah, leaders have to take decisions, but is it leading to an overload in the cognitive abilities required in you as a leader compared to, let's say, 2 years ago?
We are using AI for a lot of leadership related activities and how AI is helping there too. Okay, so what leadership requires is a lot of data to take some decisions, and this data research can be done by AI extremely fast. It does the analysis, it gives a different perspective about the same question, and then it gives analysis also, how to react to a particular situation. So from that perspective, we see that, there is a lot of advantage of using AI. So there are many things that we could not achieve earlier. We used to have dependency on a lot of consultants. So that dependency is gone completely. So consultants who used to provide a lot of help regarding financial matters or for business matters or for maybe technological matters. So there are many aspects of consultations required by leaders also. So that is completely taken over by AI, and AI is helping extremely fast at your convenience. But at the same time, as you said, that is it overloading your decision making? Yes, of course, because as long as, because we are taking a lot of decisions on our heads because of, this assisted AI, facilitation that we are getting. And because of which, a lot of decisions are coming onto the head, but we are loving it.
Okay, all right. So the insight here is that not only execution, but also, let's say, enablement of leadership. So leadership is also getting redefined, and a version 3.0 is going to emerge from AI, the wave of AI we are in right now. You have something to add, Kedar?
Decision fatigue happens when you try and solve things or think about it while you're at execution. And a great way to separate these two is to really have principles and frameworks much before you get into execution. Now, frameworks and principles is where most consulting firms or a lot of folks with a lot of experience were able to add. The difference is with AI, frameworking and principles have become a lot easier, and that has been democratized. So someone who's just 1 year into the job could also have these frameworks and principles for them to make a decision. The question is, do you know that you have to get to first principles and get to frameworks before you get to execution and solving?
So my question hence, just a follow-up question is, because the world is moving fast, and your frameworks have to hold good and true for the moving world. It's also an iterative process, right? Those frameworks are also being built as you're taking decisions. So that is the cognitive overload I was asking. How are you managing the balance in two?
Well, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a cognitive overload. If I was in the ML era, yes, then there's a lot of interpretation to be done at our end, and that is what would lead you to doing and spending a lot of time understanding. The beauty of Gen in the Gen AI is that it's been able to process this and then put it out for you. Minus of that, of course, you just thrown more data, which may not help you. So, cognitive overload, like I said, will again happen if you are not able to process and identify what you want to do. For sure, AI is helping, and at least at the leadership level as well. I think we are having a lot more meaningful conversations. The place where we are spending time is changing. It's kind of reduced a lot of debate, discussions, and made it a little more simpler for sure.
Okay. All right, lovely. You want to add something?
I just wanted to add a few things to Kedar because he was sharing a very deep thought and all, and during my mind I was also looking as a leader what I am struggling with is there. So the two things I could say is, when you asked about a cognitive overload, the more important thing is that AI has simplified our decision making, for sure, because of the deep research that is available so fast, the data points that is available so fast, and as Kedar mentioned also that the frameworks are in place, then putting the pieces in the puzzle becomes very easy with the help of AI. The challenge which we struggle as a leader is the people challenge of a mindset, the people evolving with the AI and people denying the AI. And that's a struggle which most of the leaders are struggling at this moment is there, because there's a anxiety, there's a ambiguity that how people should shape up with the evolution of AI, with that speed and the variety and the volume that AI is coming up. That guardrails is, I think, where leaders has to really put a thought and put a brain to it, that how it can be solved, so that it should not become a fear-mongering, and it should really navigate people that yes, they can still lead AI in a much better way.
Okay, so this is interesting evolution of our conversation. We started with AI and the power of execution, and then how leadership really needs to be cognitively very balanced when they're approaching it. Now you've added another angle to it, which is about the workforce, right? The resources and the workforce and their enablement during this process. So I really wanted to get the human part also into the conversation while we were discussing use cases for each of you. Anything to add for you here? Would you like to add something, Somesh? How you are bringing this into the workforce? Are they also catching up with the speed of execution through AI?
I think, I don't know if this is the right question, whether they are accepting or not. There is, in my view, there is no option but to accept. So everybody will have to accept it. This is reality. In my view, you should not look at AI as a threat to your jobs. It should be looked at as to how the efficiency at which you're delivering will be getting better. And I give this example across the way Pratik was saying that today you can create an ad at probably lesser cost, in lesser time. There is no hassle of going and doing shoots and everything. But at the end of the day, somebody needs to write the concept, right? If I am a brand, there has to has a concept, there has to has, like Kedar was saying, we need to understand the consumer, what is the proposition that we want to create based on the need gaps, and then come up with the proposition, then use AI to amplify the campaign, to amplify the execution, to amplify what we can. Tomorrow probably AI will reach to a level where they'll start writing concepts as well, then there'll be something else that you'll have to do. So in my view, it is to be looked at, and this is how we do it, at least from a leadership perspective. The question that you asked, whether leadership is involved or not, this is an board topic. If it is not in your organization, there is a problem that you're going to face very soon. This is the board topic. This takes maximum times during the board meetings. What is it that we are doing? We have an AI lab running in IIT Bombay. We are doing projects where we need to think ahead of the times and be ahead of the curve. So I think the question is not about whether leadership is thinking or not. It is a reality they'll have to think
Cultural
about.
shift.
It's a cultural
It's
shift.
the
There is a
organizational
change.
cultural shift.
There is a change
Yeah.
management, and we run it in a very structured manner.
Lovely.
Because a lot of people feel what will happen to my job, and you need to go back and give them assurance. Your
Assurance.
job is not going anywhere, but this is how you can amplify, this is how you can perform better.
Lovely.
There will be certain processes that will be replaced, but then there will be certain other processes where you will be using these
Absolutely.
talents there as well.
So what you're saying is beautifully put, that the landscape has changed, the ecosystem has changed. People have to now integrate and build that as a culture, right? There's no choice. I have a question because we have a minute left, or maybe half. I have a question for all of you, but I'll start with Prateek. Prateek, 12 months from now, what is that one AI decision senior leaders will either thank themselves for or regret?
Not implementing it at all. I gave the example of TCS, Infosys, not implementing it at all. Implement it, regret it, change it, come back, go to a hybrid model. You have to do it.
Thank you. Somesh?
I think one decision that probably people will regret is, like I said earlier as well, if they're not moving to ahead of the curve, or they are not investing time into this. I think one thing CMOs, business leaders, distribution teams, any function of the organization that they'll have to look at, what are the use cases where you can bring in AI? I mean, I run the digital business, and if there is a call center that I'm running, is there anything that I can do? And he was talking about virtual agents. We've been working on similar kind of solutions. What is it that we do? So I think you'll have to look at use cases. Somebody also touched upon revenue or return on investment. Yes, obviously, any technology that you invest into as a business, you need to ensure that you'll get return on investment. So we don't take up a AI use case till the time business commits the kind of efficiency, the kind of cost saving, the kind of return on investment that they commit. So it will have to be signed by all the stakeholders, and it can't be a job of one department. It will have to be signed by the leadership and everybody, then only it will be successful. So that's something which is very important.
Thank you. Shreyas?
So one thing leaders might regret in 12 months is that not giving AI enough trust, but also over trusting AI. I will give you an example. So we use AI in advertising. For example, if I like red ads, AI shows me red colored ads, for example. But there was an example. I was hiring my executive assistant, and I had two candidates, A and B. I gave them some task. I uploaded both of their resumes in GPT, and I uploaded both of their case studies in GPT. And candidate B was surprisingly, amazingly much better as per GPT. It was like the best choice. When I interviewed both the candidates, candidate A was much better suited.
Guys, listen to this.
So we should trust AI, but not over trust it.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing this.
Sorry, it's like, reading Kundli to decide which goal to go to.
Yeah.
Santosh.
So for me, I would say AI is now a fundamental change that is happening in the ecosystem is there, and it's an inevitable situation. So that's given is there. 1 year down the line, there are two things I clearly see is there. That first, we need to see the AI use cases as how they are unifying to derive the outcomes that we want to do, and our focus should shift from output to the outcomes, because currently we are very much being very big on the output part is there. It has to outcome, and that comes with the unification of the process that we use either through AI or build efficiencies. The second thing as a trend which I am seeing is the agent to agent communication will be very big, and there where I think the leadership must look at is there, because we are now talking about agents whether it's a conversational agents or a call agents or it's like that. Agent to agent communication will be a very big parameter, and then marketers must look at those things.
Thank you.
So
Kedar.
I'm going to keep it short and quick. I'm going to tell you an advice which 30-year-old someone, they have a boutique, I don't even know, agency, call it a AI native solutions company called Hypergrow, they kind of told me two things. They said, one, AI, the biggest risk on AI is not moving slowly, but moving without understanding it. And the second thing, which was very profound, is that the thing that you will regret the most is if you outsource the thinking to someone else. And the thing that you will thank yourself the most is to bringing the capabilities in-house.
Bring the game?
Capabilities in-house.
Capability in-house. Got it. Got it.
So it's quite interesting topics discussion. So what I would like to add is my comment is don't use AI tools to build or solve yesterday's problems. Use your investment to solve tomorrow's solutions. So that's what I would like to say, because that would build your assets. Otherwise, it's going to be a debt for you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just to conclude, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I've learned a lot from today's conversation, and I'm sure the audience would have also gained some insights. One big takeaway for me is that AI will build capabilities, but leaders will have to keep using their judgment, giving direction, and build the trust. So that's not going anywhere. Humans are here to stay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.